First, I want to highlight this partnership and collaboration between the World Bank, UNESCO, UNICEF, and the OECD, not only in the survey, but in terms of the joint work during these last couple of years. And I want to thank, in terms of this specific work, thank Sylvia Montoya, the director of the UNESCO Institute of Statistics, who once again led this process with tremendous energy. This partnership is critical, even more today. This coordinated work is critical now in this moment that we're not only fighting a learning crisis, but we need to put off a fire now, this year, right, in order to make sure that kids go back to learning. Let me highlight a few additional results beyond what Stefania, Rob, and Andreas have mentioned already. One is that the schools worldwide were closed 80 days on average, but this loss in in-person instruction days was not evenly distributed. It has been much larger in low and middle income countries. And by now, I mean, 2 months passed after this survey, Latin America and South Asia might be reaching more than 200 days, I mean, out of school. With this a gigantic interruption with potential huge impacts. Now, given these school closures, there are widespread concerns about learning losses, which are revealing to be large with the data that we have and very unequal. In that regard, then, remedial education now is vital and is now essential. It's not a luxury anymore. Yet, around 1 in 3 countries are not implementing remedial programs post-COVID. This requires really strong investments in adapting teaching to the right level, as schools reopen, investing in technology to close the digital divide, but more importantly is the human factor, the teachers, the investments that we need to do with teachers, principals, and also parents and communities. It is this package of interventions that might move the needle of learning. And finally, effective catch-up strategies require countries to measure where students are in terms of their learning levels, both at the national level and at the classroom level, to inform teaching and learning practices in a context in which each students can have very different levels of learning after these closures. Yet, according to the survey, only 1/3 of countries are taking steps to measure learning losses. Measurement of learning losses is absolutely a critical effort. It also highlights the importance of this recent partnership that Stefania mentioned between UNESCO, UNICEF, and the World Bank around a Learning Data Compact, a commitment to ensure that all countries have learning data by the end of 2025. Ending this learning data crisis is a prerequisite to ending learning poverty. Without good quality data, countries will be flying blind. And this discussion on data is not only technical, it is not only critical for policy design, but this discussion is also political. Progress in education requires political commitment to put the financial resources, the technical resources, the managerial resources to pursue the needed reforms and interventions. And finally, I want to close thanking UNESCO and particularly Stefania for her leadership, for the recognition that global coordination is critical to battle this tragic learning crisis. And we will cooperate in the next crucial steps of defining the details of the global coordination mechanism to make sure that we have an agile mechanism with an effective high-level steering committee and secretariat, playing to the strengths of all the institutions committed and represented in this meeting. Thank you very much.